Lead gen Google Ads accounts are wasting thousands because of bad settings. Hi, I'm Ernő Horváth, CEO of Optimum Click, where we manage over 700,000 in monthly Google Ad spend for B2C and B2B lead gen campaigns in the US and UK. Having personally audited hundreds of Google Ads accounts, we've developed a systematic approach that consistently improves performance and scales spend effectively. We are running campaigns for the following sectors: home improvement, roofing, siding, window replacement, kitchen and bathroom remodel, aesthetic clinics such as vein clinics, laser eye clinics, dermatologists, beauticians, commercial service companies such as commercial cleaning and roofing, SaaS businesses targeting individuals and businesses as well. These accounts may seem like a very broad range, however, the principles are the same for every business. Understand their customers, target them with high-performing, relevant ads, capture the conversion in every possible channel, analyze the data, and upload the best leads and close deals into Google Meta. So the platforms will also understand which customers are worth more to the business. Our method is so powerful that sometimes we even manage to improve the revenue from the campaign by 50%, with about 20% being the average. If you are an e-commerce business, you should check my other video where I outline this method specifically for e-commerce businesses. Our audit process follows a strategic hierarchy, examining each component in order of impact. The first is conversion tracking verification. The second one, content suitability settings. Third, campaign structure review. 4, keyword and ad groups. Number 5, ad texts and audience analysis. Number 6, performance trend analysis. Number 7, lead qualification and CRM integration. Number 8, bidding, bid adjustments and bid optimization. Number 9, landing page analysis. Number 10, change history review. So let's start with conversion tracking. And here are the most common issues and their solution. Tracking is a bit more complex for lead gen PPC accounts compared to e-commerce. For e-commerce, you usually have one conversion purchase, and it's easy to determine if you have double tracking or not. For a lead gen account, it's totally normal to have 2-3 primary conversions like form submission, phone call. Moreover, if you use offline conversion tracking, you have even more conversions and all can be totally valid. However, double tracking happens when you track the same event multiple times. For example, you track the click on a phone number and you also track the phone call with CallRail, or you track the form submission with GA4 and import it to Google Ads, and you also have a native Google Ads tracking that tracks the very same form submission. However, sometimes you even want to distinguish between different forms. So it's totally valid scenario that you have 3 conversions just to track form submissions, but each tracks a different kind of form submission. So kind of like general rule of thumb, track form submission with native Google Ads, track phone calls, preferably with a third-party tool like CallRail, track what happens after the initial contact with offline conversion tracking, at least the qualified leads, but preferably the actual revenue or profit. Also, don't just track clicks on elements or when someone is visiting the landing page or submitting a support ticket. I must note here that you cannot fully do a conversion tracking audit from the Google Ads account. You only can pinpoint on the most obvious issues, but for a full-scale conversion tracking audit, you need to see exactly what's happening in GA4, what triggers the GTM has. You kind of like need to submit all the forms on the page and need to check what's happening and what conversions are fired. Almost every account we audited has tracking issues. Lead gen accounts are generally in a much worse state than e-com accounts. E-com tracking is easy. Tracking properly a service-based business is much more complex, especially B2B, where the sales and the first touch point can be 12 months apart, so you cannot even track everything. Like every account, UTM parameters are a crucial part, so check them at the ad and campaign level as well. If you copied and pasted the campaigns, then 2 campaigns might have the same UTM parameters. The key is consistency, so there are multiple ways to implement UTM tracking. you need to be using the same naming policy. So for example, using PPC in one campaign and adding another one, that's not a very good practice. Number 2, content suitability settings. It's under tools and settings, content suitability. The actual impact can be 10 or 20% at efficiency. So here are a few key optimizations that you can make. Disable default app category placements. This reduces wasted spend on low quality traffic. You need to exclude live stream video placements. Viewers rarely leave active streams. Remove below the fold display placements that has poor visibility. And you also need to remove park domains. They are more likely used in traffic arbitrage. I have another video about traffic arbitrage, so check the channel for that. Lead gen is especially prone to bad traffic, spam leads, low quality leads, etc. The main difference between an e-com and a lead gen is that for most lead gen accounts, a simple form submission is a conversion, and submitting a form is a much weaker signal of engagement compared to a transaction in an e-commerce store. A robot can submit a form, a job seeker can submit a form. Meanwhile, in e-com, to submit an order, you need to pick your credit card and you actually need to pay. I've seen this in a lot of accounts where the form submissions was the only form of conversion. If your ad appears in the wrong place and you are running an automated bidding, so for example, games, park domains, bad quality leads started to pour in for cheap. And since the algorithm is designed to get you leads at the best cost, your feedback loop started to form in a bad way. Also, you need to consider that these services have usually higher value. For complete window replacement projects, for example, homeowners spend an average $7,300, with most people paying between $3,400 and $11,800 in total, compared to it with a sneaker, for example, and the average price is around $70. So if you see a good sneaker by playing with an app, you're more likely to buy than if you see a window replacement ad during play, and that will trigger you to replace all your windows for 10 grand. So better content suitability is a must for lead gen. Number 3 is campaign structure review. The most important campaign structure setting is the brand non-brand segmentation. Can you tell from your account easily how much they spend on cold traffic / warm traffic, and what the cost per lead cost per qualified lead is segmented by those? If your brand terms are all over the place in every campaign, that's pretty wrong. Once you have the brand segmentation, it's essential to segment your search campaigns based on your product service categories. For example, if you do roofing and siding, then obviously these should be segmented into their own campaign, so you can control the budget, messaging, and target KPIs better. Further segmentation depends on many things, for example, budget, how many different locations you have, whether you have a different performance metrics or budget for different location. And if you're a larger enterprise, you can even have multiple accounts, not just campaigns, and you can combine them together with Google Ads, MCC, My Client Center account. When segmenting your campaign, you need to consider having enough conversions or even qualified conversions within one campaign. For example, if you have 3 locations, but the number of qualified leads within a month for window replacement is just 30, I wouldn't split the campaigns based on the location, even if it's slightly suboptimal for you and you like to push one location slightly higher, because segmenting those campaigns will split the conversion data into 3 and 8-12 conversion per campaign during a 30-day period is just not enough for the system to understand who your best visitors are. So keep that in one campaign and Google will have enough data to optimize the campaign for better performance. Also, for lead gen, click costs are typically high, so only start your ads if you have a decent budget. Campaigns with few clicks in them just make no sense to keep. Let's talk about Performance Max. I have a specific video about how to use Performance Max for B2B and B2C lead gen, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here. However, you can definitely use PMax for lead gen only. If you use qualified lead as a signal, so simple form submission or a click on a phone number is just not enough. Also, PMAX is usually an additional campaign, so having only PMAX is bad. PMAX is usually an added extra top layer of your current highly specific search campaign. Let's talk about location and device targeting next. Location is really crucial for local service-based businesses. For example, for SaaS, it's less relevant. For every campaign you have, you need to set presence as your location targeting. There can be some exemptions, but 98% of the time, presence is what you should aim for. You need to review your location targeting. The smallest area that you can target is a zip code. For local service businesses, there is no Google Ads audit without checking the location. Is the account targeting the right location? Is there any difference between these locations? Which area is underperforming or overperforming? Most accounts have area targeting issues as well. I don't understand why, but unfortunately it's fairly common. So there is no audit without location targeting checking. When reviewing an account, you need to check your ad extensions as well. So the more the merrier, but make sure they are leading people to the correct page. So site link extension is leading people to the correct page. We need to use different one for different services. So for example, for Tummy Tuck, you need a Tummy Tuck specific site link. For facelift, you need a facelift specific site link. You can have general site links such as About Us, Meet the Doctors or Reviews, but that's also very common that ad extensions are mixed. Let's talk about auto-apply recommendations. Almost every PPC expert recommends you to switch off all the auto-apply recommendations. There are a few which do no harm, but most of them can cause serious trouble, like removing conflicting negative keywords or setting the target CPA. Why on earth would you let Google to set your target CPA? There is a reason you set your target CPA at an amount you are comfortable with, so letting Google just adjust those is very, very risky. For B2B lead gen and B2C lead gen, we also need to talk about ad scheduling. It depends on the business, but most lead gen campaigns benefit from ad scheduling. Do you have someone to pick up the phone at 8 p.m. for your commercial cleaner business? Then don't run ads that feature your phone number. Do you have someone to pick up the phone on Sunday? The same logic applies. To avoid people looking for the wrong kind of service, you might need to tailor your ad scheduling. Also, side note here, dentist open on Sunday like searches would be handled as well if your dental office is closed on Sundays, but that should be filtered out with negative keywords and not with ad scheduling. I just wanted to highlight how important it is to align your business opening hours with your ads. Let's move to number 4, keywords and ad groups. Let's start with ad groups. The single keyword ad group strategy is dead. So if you see hundreds of ad groups in your account, each having one keyword in them, that's really bad. The new term is STAGs, single theme ad group. So you should see 10 to 20 keywords in an ad group bundled together by a common theme. In a stag environment, a campaign for a CRM software would look like ad group 1, CRM software for small businesses, ad group 2, CRM software for letting agent, etc. etc. If your ad group is not structured this way, it might be an issue. Also, it depends on the budget, the targeting, and how you need to structure your ad groups, but what I mentioned above is the general rule of thumb. I must note here that every ad group needs a very specific ad text. So in the example above, ad group 1 should have an ad text tailored around small businesses with a matching landing page, and ad group 2 ad text should be tailored to CRM for letting agent with a matching landing page. It's also a very common mistake that you have 1 or 2 landing pages and you just direct very different traffic to those and expect people will convert on them. So let's move to the keyword level from the ad group level. Local intent keywords are the foundation of successful local campaign. Focus on search terms that indicate someone is ready to book a service and include your location as well. So dentist near me, Botox clinic in city, emergency dentist in city are example of high intent queries that signal immediate need. You should target those and everything else usually comes next. If the area doesn't matter, you still need to start focusing on high intent specific terms like best CRM for real estate. People tend to mix keywords and search terms, and that's a huge issue. A lot of people think what they typed into Google Ads are the terms they will only appear for. And that's not true. The two can be very different, especially if you add your keywords as broad. You can appear even for your competitor's name with a broad keyword, but exact match is not a guaranteed happy place as well. So analyzing search terms for lead gen is much more important compared to an e-com business. For e-com, usually the clicks are cheaper, and if someone is looking for a chocolate flavored protein shake, they might happy to choose a mocha flavored one. But for lead gen, it's very unlikely if someone is searching for a divorce lawyer would be happy with a mergers and acquisition one. There are also a lot of keyword themes that are usually not good for lead gen. Job seekers, so keywords like job openings, DIY related terms, so how do I, education related, become, out of area searches, so other city names, out of hours or emergency related like Sunday, residential and commercial mix up, those are quite usual unfortunately. So if you are a commercial cleaner, you shouldn't target terms like maid, house or residential or something like that. Most lead gen campaigns fail because they target the wrong keyword. Agencies, freelancers are lazy and they are not checking the search term reports frequently enough. Also, we saw people managing ads for themselves seeing the search term report for the first time when we actually pointed out there is one. So don't mix keyword with search terms. And also it's advisable to review your negative keywords from time to time. Let's move to the next bit, ad text and audience analysis. Once your keyword trigger your ad, the ad copy must convince the searchers to click. With limited characters and fierce local competition, clarity and relevance are key. So emphasize what makes your offer unique and include a strong call to action in every ad. There are usually 4 things you need to check. Location plus service or just service should be in the headline. USPs, emotional and benefit-driven language, headline pinning to avoid headline duplication. Also, Google allows you to refine who sees your search ad by layering audience criteria on top of keyword targeting. For instance, a dental practice could use in-market audiences for dental services or oral care to bid higher for users Google identifies as actively searching for dental care. You can also adjust bids by demographics, age, gender, household income. A med spa offering cosmetic treatment might increase bids for women aged 30 to 60 if that's their core client group. In your campaign settings, consider using observation mode on relevant audience segments to gather data if you see a certain groups convert well. However, if you are using automated bidding, these audiences are less relevant. It's still nice to see them, but you cannot really adjust the bids. Performance trend analysis, this is a tricky one. So when we audit accounts, we usually check the latest 90 days. The last 30 days can be misleading, and I will tell you why. Attribution. The impact of attribution is even larger if you track qualified leads or closed deals. In some cases, closing a deal can take 30 to 60 days. So you need to consider this when reviewing an account. So for most lead gen type accounts, if you want to see a better story, just keep the latest 30 days and analyze the data before that. Compare at least 60-day period to the previous 60-day period. And you also need to consider seasonality. To conduct the audit on trends, you need to analyze metrics such as spend, cost per lead, cost per qualified leads, CTR and impressions, and both the account and campaign level. Number 7, lead qualification and CRM integration. This is one of my favorite topic of all, because 80% of the accounts just fail to do it. So if you just do it and just implement it in your account, you will have a huge advantage over the rest. I already mentioned call tracking, and it's a crucial part of having a near 100% coverage on your leads to see exactly where your leads are coming from. For lead gen in 2025, if your qualified leads are not being uploaded to Google, your campaigns have a huge disadvantage over others. Because your competitors have better data uploaded to Google, their campaigns can focus on generating more qualified leads for them. Meanwhile, you will get the lower quality ones. So in 2025, if you are running Google Ads campaigns for your business, I highly recommend to start focusing on sales and marketing qualified leads with your campaign. Lead qualification is important because it directly impacts the efficiency of sales efforts. Spending time on unqualified leads takes away time that could be spent on valid prospects. Pre-qualifying leads ensure your sales team focusing on those most likely to convert. This is especially important if you would like to run automated campaigns such as Performance Max. CRM integration is crucial for connecting online and offline data, providing a comprehensive view of your customer journey. This method, also called offline conversion tracking or OTC, essentially requires you to send lead quality information back to Google. This helps the system learn which leads are valuable and improve the efficiency of your campaigns. Accurate tracking and data are essential for making informed decisions and improving campaign performance. By feeding better data back to Google, the AI within Google can make better decisions. To sum up everything, lead qualification and CRM integration are important to improving lead quality and overall campaign performance. And you need to do it now and act before your competitors are doing it and taking the best leads from Google instead of you. Let's talk about number 8, bidding with adjustments and optimization. As I mentioned earlier, the goal of the campaign should be matched with your business goals. This is the most crucial part of any lead gen campaigns. If you make 2,000 on a window replacement deal, but you make 50 on a broken window repair, yet the form fields for those have the same value, you will never be able to get a decent profit out of your campaigns. The basis of any bidding adjustment and optimization heavily relies on the accuracy of the data in your account. And that's why lead gen is generally harder not to crack, because for e-com, the revenue is there, it's instantly there. But for lead gen, it's much more complicated, and sometimes you need to wait for 30 days, 60 days to see how your changes impacted the account. For me, this is the biggest red flag in any lead gen accounts, and everything else just comes after. However, there are still some other red flags. So for example, using max clicks with broad keywords, it's very rare, by the way, but I've seen it. And if you want to use max clicks, then add every keyword as exact match. As I mentioned earlier, when I see a campaign with a small budget and a few conversions using automated bidding strategy, I know that campaign is underperforming. The general rule of thumb is you need at least 30 conversions per 30 days to be able to use an automated bidding strategy effectively. There are some other tricks. If you are using target CPA, you should use it from the portfolio bidding strategies, because then you can limit the CPC. Without it, Google will happily bring you clicks that cost twice as much as your target CPA. Why? I don't know, but this is the reality, unfortunately. I also like to emphasize that manual bidding strategy is not inherently evil, and it has its place in your strategy if it handled with care. For example, brand campaigns can be run very effectively with manual CPC. Campaigns that have a low amount of conversions but for some reason cannot be migrated with other campaigns, and if you have a few terms that really matter to the business and you just want to be there no matter what, sometimes there is no other way to force Google to show you for that term, so you need to use manual CPC. I really don't like when people bash manual CPC, because either they are not using it the right way or haven't even tried it recently. I have some very successful campaigns running on a small budget, just targeting a few terms for our customers. Bid adjustments are really only relevant within search, display and video campaigns, and not Performance Max campaign. Performance Max will handle bid adjustments automatically. Technically, Google doesn't consider bid adjustments when you set the bidding strategy is automated. However, we saw that sometimes it slightly does, but it's more likely a signal to Google Ads, not an exact limit. However, automated bidding will still respect the exclusions, so if you exclude the 18 to 24 age range, it will be really excluded by Google. Number 9 is landing page analysis. A large part of the success of a Google Ads campaign falls outside of the actual settings in Google Ads. We always check the landing pages as well as part of a Google Ads audit, at least the top ones. Are the ad groups using the relevant landing pages? Does the intent of the searcher match with what the landing page contains? Is the offer on the landing page the same as in the ad text? Is the landing page optimized for mobile? What is the page speed score for desktop and mobile? Remember, if you improve the conversion rate on the landing page by 20%, your campaign's performance will improve by 20% as well. And you haven't even touched any settings within your account. People tend to forget the very basic concept of Google Ads. Keyword, ad text, landing page should be matched. For B2B and B2C lead gen, the landing page is a crucial part of the campaign success. You are usually selling complex services that cost a lot, like laser eye surgery, dental implant, roofing and such. So it's much more crucial compared to e-com that the landing page would provide enough information about these complex services. You need to be compliant if you are providing medical services, and you also need to emphasize the trust factor as well. The last one on our list is change history analysis. It tells a lot about the style of how your account is managed. Most accounts don't need daily adjustment. If you see frequent bidding changes, for example, target CPA 50 to 60 and then 50 back again and then 70 and then 50 back again, that's not a good sign. Also, if you scroll through the changes and you don't see any other changes besides target CPA, ROAS, settings up and down or budget up and down, that's not a good sign either. Lead gen accounts need regular updates of negative keywords, for example. Ad text should be changed and promotion extension should be changed as well someday. However, promotion is not something every local business needs to run. Also, it's not a very good sign if you cannot see any change for 2 weeks. No matter how small the account is, there should be at least a negative keyword or something. So here's my conclusion. You cannot just audit a lead gen Google Ads account the same way you would audit an e-com one. That's why I created 2 separate videos. With e-com, basically everyone can tell how much revenue is associated with the campaign, and by that's also not that simple because of attribution. At least the business owner saw that, okay, well, I spent 10 grand and made 35. Whereas with lead gen, many businesses don't even know what amount of revenue could be attributed to Google Ads. Every other business I speak with has this issue. So the first thing is to make that amount clear, and everything else comes after. You are not tracking lead quality and the whole life cycle of the leads in Google Ads, you could be wasting up to 50% of your budget. And I didn't just pull this number out of thin air, but for many accounts, whenever we aligned the business goals with the goals in the account, we reached at least 20% and some cases around 50% improvement on real business revenue from PPC. If you are unsure about your account, we at Optimum Click are happy to help you to do an audit on yours. Use the link below to visit our website and submit the form for an account audit, and we will get back to you in 48 hours. We need about 4 to 7 days to do a thorough audit of your Google Ads account. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, it costs you nothing.